Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Well, the sun rises on another edition of Freed on Business. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about, so you want to buy or refinance your home. What are your options with the mortgage market here in the United States going crazy? Rates have doubled in the last year. People are freaking out. People that were going to get loans last year and started again because they realized that they're still going to have a low loan given the relative rate and what it might be next year. So we've got my partner, Ed Cairo, on. Ed does all of our fancy residential loans for us. Ed's going to talk about loans he's doing for foreign nationals, as well as some of our clients that had sticker shock on the loan rates, but we've been able to get them across the finish line because we get them focused on their real monthly payment. So stick with us. It's a great show. Lots of entertainment, lots of fun, and great information you'll be able to use to your benefit later today to make your life better. So stick with us, and this is where I go. Mr. Mendoza, take it. Oh yeah, it's Warren Henry Day. I was at Supercar Saturday last week. Met with Larry, and I'm going up to Gainesville this weekend. We're going to check out the Audi store up in Gainesville. So remember, if you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at Biscayne and 105th. My wife just got the brand new QX60. It's amazing. That car is tremendous. Up in Gainesville, they have their Audi store. That's where I'm going to go this weekend. And then down in the Keys, they sell all the great nameplates, including Jeep. So if you want a car, they've got you covered from the north part of the state all the way down to the south part of the state. And remember, they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage besides being great cars. The Warren Henry Advantage includes complimentary service loaner. They'll polish up your rims if you scratch them. They'll replace those fancy $1,000 keys if you lose those. A whole bunch of things, including they'll guarantee you the best price when you turn in your car. They'll guarantee you the best price when you buy your car, and they'll give you 3 days to evaluate whether you like your car. Nobody ever returns their car. They love their cars, just like we love ours. So join me, my beautiful wife that just got the QX60 Vivian, my mom. She drives one of those little Warren Henry starter cars. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
Carlson helps me look great, and you can see right there, that ain't easy. So if they can help me look great, they can help you look great. Check them out. They're tremendous. Carlson Integrated. You know who else is tremendous? Me. Call me. I help people solve their real estate problems. What does that mean? Well, I have clients from all over the world and the United States that look to me to help them implement their real estate plan. I had a person that owns 10 franchises come to me. Now they want to start buying the land underneath their franchises. They also want to start developing another product type. They asked me if I could help them with that. I have clients from Latin America. I have clients from the Far East. I have clients from the Middle East. I have clients from Plantation, Florida. What do they all have in common? Well, they all get my best every single day, and they all know one thing. They know that I'm driven by their success, and that when they call me, it's always all about them.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back. Mortgage market's been cratering. There's been increases in interest rates everywhere. People have started to have to look for creative solutions, and that means that when they're going to their bank is giving them a vanilla ice cream no, and they're going, well, what do I do now? Let's bring on Ed Cairo and let's talk about what they do next. Eddie, where are you?
Hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How the brothers?
Brothers are doing great. They're here in the office working away.
All right, we're going to get Mike on the show, too, to talk about the metaverse, him being the meta man.
Yes, he does. He needs to tell you all about it.
Let's talk about mortgages today. The headlines now are that the Fed is getting ready to increase rates again. This time last year, we were minting mortgages in the 3s. The year before in the 2s. Now we're in a much higher zone if you go for a straight residential mortgage. But there's lots of options and lots of opportunities. And there's lots of people out there that are still buying homes. Ed, tell me a little bit about what you're seeing from your office vantage point.
Well, what we're seeing is, people are still buying homes. They're always going to buy homes. They're always going to need to buy homes. And this is kind of where we shine, because brokers are better. And if they go to a retail bank, like you said, they're doing these vanilla loans. They have no idea how to kind of walk through this market. We have a tremendous amount of options for people, from 3-2-1 buy downs. I'll tell you about that in a second. To foreign national loans, to no income verification loans. A lot of different things that we can structure for people to get them in their property. There are some people that have to live in a house, and as long as they can secure the asset, we'll help them do that. We can refinance them down the road, but we put them into some sort of a payment situation that, as long as they can afford the payment and they're comfortable with the asset, we can take care of the rest later.
So it reminds me of when I graduated college. Interest rates were peaking. It was like 18 to 20%, but people still needed to buy homes. And what they did was they would buy the home with the paper, and then every 2 or 3 years they'd refinance. Mm-hmm. And yes, it would cost them a couple of bucks, but all the brokers would take their numbers and they'd say, here, now it makes sense. Let's do a deal. And I got to believe that that's going to replay.
Yeah, I agree with you. And people are very, very happy with the 3%, 3.5% that they have on their homes. So to refinance when it's higher, people don't want to do that, but they still need access to capital for various reasons. It could be for college, it could be for income tax. You just never know what it might be. So the options are, there's some equity line programs out there right now. They're a good little stopgap for now. We get them in, approved in an equity line, so they have a line of credit to work with. Later on, as things start to change, we can always change that around later. So that's one of the things that helps. The other thing is there's a couple of buy down loans that are coming out, which are relatively new to the market. So the sellers, it turns out now that the seller's market, the way it always was, although there still isn't tremendous, there's a low point of inventory. The sellers, in order to sell their houses, because they're starting to stay on the market a little longer, could offer a seller credit for 1 point on the borrower's mortgage. And what does that mean? There's a 3-2-1 buy down program that they can actually, the first year, they have to qualify off their actual payment, but the first year the payment would be a little bit less. The second year the payment's a little bit more. Third year the payment is where it would need to be. And that's a big help to a lot of young people and a lot of people that are trying to qualify for loans. They have to qualify for the actual payment, but that helps them on a brand new house, buying furniture, all the stuff that they need to do to get started. That's one of
So really what it is it's a complete new reset on the psychology of buying a home for a regular person. super jumbos, those are even more difficult. I'll bet you are the interest rates on a jumbo or super jumbo higher than regular rates now? What's up with that?
They are a little bit higher, but I'll tell you what they did do. They raised the jumbo limits, and we're at 715,000 now, which is a little bit higher. So in other words, $715,000 loan amount, not purchase price. So we can go up to 715,000 on a regular conventional loan, which is another great feature.
That is very nice, because if you're doing 70% now, somebody can buy $1 million home with that.
Exactly right, and it's not a jumbo, which is great.
So then, Ed, let's just call it what it is. We were talking to somebody yesterday. I was talking to somebody today. They asked me, what kind of rate would somebody get on a second home? Good credit, reasonable down payment, and it shocked me. It had a 7 handle.
Yeah, it did. It had a 7 on it, and that's second home. And people have to understand that there's primary residences, there's second homes, there's investment properties. Those are really the 3 categories that we work with. So the best deal that you would get is a primary residence, and that's if you truly are going to move into this property. If you live up north and you want to buy a second home, it's going to be a little bit more expensive for you. Cost of doing business, that's just the way it works. And investment properties would be obviously a little bit more, because everything is based on risk to the lender. If you have an investment property and you have a primary residence, if something happens, which is the first that goes, is the investment property. So obviously there's more risk involved. Same thing with a second home. So condos, same thing. Single family homes compared to condos a little bit higher, because they're a little bit historically more risky than it would be on a single family home. So this is where we shine, Jim. It's exciting. We're busy as could be. There's a lot of people calling us. They know they can't go to the retail banks, nor should they, because the retail banks can't help them. I mean, they could, but they're not going to give them what we can do. We've got a tremendous amount of investors that we work with, and a lot of different programs. This is what we live for here. This is the type of market that we're here for.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with Ed Cairo. We're going to talk a little bit more about why you need to use a broker instead of strictly going to your Sano banker for your home loan. Ed, you can stick with us a little bit more, right?
Absolutely. Be happy.
All right. Mr. Mendoza, shine. Mr. Cairo is here. Mr. Cairo, we need to get you to Warren Henry also. I was at Warren Henry Supercar Saturday. Oh, there he is. Mr. Mendoza, you're playing games with me today. So I was just up with Larry's in at Warren Henry. We're going to have Larry come on and do a whole bunch of shows. We're probably going to go up there and taping a couple of them and do them live on tape with him. Maybe get some of his executives on to talk about their vision of the future. But I know that their vision of the future includes one thing, that's you. Why? They want to make you a member of the Warren Henry family. Why would you want to be a member of the Warren Henry family? I'm a good person to ask. We've been a member of the Warren Henry family for 30 plus years. Why? Because when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you always want to get the best advantage that you can. And that's provided by Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar at 151st and Biscayne. I'm going to Gainesville this weekend. I'm going to get me an Audi at their Gainesville Audi store. Down in the Keys, they sell everything. They've got Jaguars, Infinitis, they've got Jeeps, they've got everything. And what do all those cars down there have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. What's that? Well, that's a whole bunch of services. It's a big list. I used to pull out the list and wave it in front of everybody, but I don't do that anymore. But I got it memorized. It's got complimentary service loaner if you got to leave your car. If you scrape up your rims on the curb because you like to park close, I like to park close, they'll polish them up and make sure they look good for you all the time. You lose your key. I did that once. Costs a lot of money to replace those computerized keys. They'll do it for free. And they'll guarantee that you're getting the best price when you trade in your car. They'll guarantee you the best price on your new car. And if you don't like your car, well, you'll have 3 days to decide. Guess what? Everybody loves their car. No one returns their car. They're all great cars. So join me, my beautiful wife, Vivian, my mom, lots and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always. Warren Henry.
Can AI supercharge your real estate analysts? With Deep Blocks, you can now canvas entire cities in minutes. Search by total buildable, potential units, and uses allowed. Now live in 100 cities. Book a private demo and supercharge your real estate analysts. deepblocks.com/demo.
I'm just making notes on why people should use a broker, certainly in times like this. Hi, I'm Jim Freed. What do? I help people solve their real estate problems. We're talking about that here on the show today. Today, everybody's wondering, well, how am I going to get a residential mortgage with rates reaching to the skies? This has never happened in my lifetime before. Well, it's happened in my lifetime before. Ed knows what to do. We'll be talking about that. What we're going to do, we're going to help people solve their problems. I do that all the time. I've got high net worth individuals that I helped. I'm actually helping one of them build an entire new development division. We had the first couple of meetings. We're going to talk about what the comp is for everybody. Then we're going to go and we're going to be an apartment developer. That's going to be great. I've got another client that wants to come here from Latin America. They want to build small condos, 30, 50 unit condos. God bless them. I'm going to help them find the sites and do that. I've got another client that wants to buy value-add office buildings and shopping centers. Pretty challenging today. We're helping them. We've got a great source for them. In fact, I'm going to write that down right now. Boo, boo, boo. Where's that list for tomorrow? There it is. So that's what I do. I sit here at my desk. I go out to meetings. I meet really smart people, really wonderful people, and I mix them up. It's not like doing a matrix. Everybody just said this, blah, blah, blah. This is the way to change it. No. What I do is sort of a Rubik's Cube. I've got another family. The family is based here in California. Their son, who's like 40, is moving, is based here in Miami. Their son is 40. He's moving from California. They want to start a new business too. Who are they calling to get the advice to help the son? Me. I'm a blessed guy. Why? Because I know a lot of things, and with my brand being that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams and goals, well, that's why we have Ed on. Is there a bigger definition than talking about a dream and goal than getting your house? I'm helping all these different real estate operating companies and investors get together and achieve their goals and make great returns for their investors. So why not do stuff with me? Give me a call. It's never vanilla. It's always exciting. It's always new and interesting, and it's always really cool. And it's always cutting edge. So reach out to me. You see my contact info down there below. It's a little bit of a long ramble this time, but it's because I was really hitting it hard in what I do. And what I do is I solve people's problems. So give me a call, because one thing you'll know for sure is that when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Hi, I'm Jim Freed, and I help people solve their real estate problems. We're on with one of my partners, Ed Cairo. Bing! Ed Cairo, please.
Hello.
There he is. Hey, who's that big bad guy in the background with the beard? That's a big boy. I got the big boys there. There they are.
Guys, this is very
Those are the guys that I rely on to solve my friends' problems, and they kick butt. So if you want to buy a house, or you want to refinance, you want to pull something out, or here's one we didn't even talk about. If you want to lower your overall cost of capital by paying off your nasty credit cards, by pulling some of that new equity out of your house, call us.
Right.
How'd I do, Ed?
You did very well. And what I have behind me is a very expensive proposition, because they should be working on loans right now, but they came in to say hello to you.
We'll work for free, Jim.
I love you guys. I love you guys.
Yeah,
You know, the biggest thing in my mind is having somebody dependable to help me out and cover my back.
That's
You know, everybody knows what they want to do, but they don't know how to do it. And sometimes it's changed since they've done it. Make believe you haven't gotten a loan for your house in 10 or 15 years. Well, it used to be you go in the back of the Miami Herald on Monday, you'd go through there, they'd have 52 different banks, and you'd pick one. Well, how do you know which bank to go to? They're all different, and most of them don't do anything except run ads. What you really need is performance, and you need to know somebody that knows the lender, investor, who can do your deal, and it's different for everybody. How's that for a lead-in, Ed?
That was fantastic. You know,
You take it from there, bro.
well, I got the boys behind me, so we have 3 Italians over here trying to make sure that that our customers can be serviced properly with their mortgages. And you know, when it comes to doing these loans, and you're 100% right, Jim. The good thing is now, as compared to 2008 and prior to that, was there's still a ton of equity in a lot of people's homes, where it wasn't then. So we have a lot of equity, so we have things to work with. What we'd like to do is we'd like to take a look at the overall debt, because everything's gone up from milk to eggs to gas to the whole 9 yards, and people are using their credit cards. I mean, they kind of have to. I mean, that's
And
just
the
the way it
credit
is.
card interest rates are going up dramatically.
Right.
Exactly.
And those banks are loving all of this, because the 24,
Oh, plus the
25%.
fees they're going to get out of you too. Oh, they're going to just absolutely take you over their knee and spank you.
They sure will. And you know, the other part of it is they encourage you to come in to apply for a mortgage, because they're going to hit you for a $300 or $400 application fee, which they have no intention of doing that loan anyway. And they do that 30, 40 times a month. They're making plenty of money. So the banks are happy to do it, but they're not going to get your loan done. What I'm saying is that, you know, when people come in and we look at their overall debt situation, or their financial situation, you know, we have to figure out what the goals are. You know, you have kids that are going to college. Are you trying to retire? You know, what is it that you're trying to do? The key would be really to get rid of the debt as fast as we possibly can. Just because the interest rates are a little bit on the higher side doesn't mean we cannot still lower their payments, their overall monthly obligations, and get them to a point where, you know, they can at least survive for now. And then when things get better, we help them out again at that time.
Hold it. I'm writing down all your good stuff. Lower your monthly payment. Your overall.
That's really
That's
what
it
it
right
comes
there.
down
Your
to.
overall monthly payment.
That's-
See, most people don't think like that.
Yeah, that's really what
You know,
it is.
most people don't think like that. They're freaking out. You know, a lot of people are getting laid off too. You know,
Yes, yes.
let's say somebody has a problem. Let's say they got laid off. They've been living in their house forever. They got a really nice mortgage on it. But suddenly they can't pay the mortgage. You got a lot of equity. Some people don't even know how much equity they have. Has that happened to you recently, where some guy calls you, he says, I'm trouble, I'm going to get foreclosed, and you can help him out some way?
Well, you must have some sort of an intuition, because I had that call yesterday, as a matter of fact.
I'm the Joker. Look at my face.
It's amazing. I did not tell it. I want everybody to know I did not tell him this. But yeah, we had a call. We had actually helped this particular gentleman, and his son ran into some financial difficulty. He's 30 years old, and he's in pre-foreclosure right now. He's in a foreclosure situation with one of the lenders, who told him all these different stories, how they were going to give him forbearance and all this nonsense. In the end, of course, that did not happen. So they said, "Oh, you can give us a deed in lieu of foreclosure if you'd like." And he
Nice.
said, "Well, what is that? Tell me what that is." I said, "Well, let's start here. What did you pay for the house?" 2 years ago, 300,000 actually. So I said, "What do you think it's worth?" He said, "Well, maybe 350, 375." So I said, "Well, let me take a look." And I looked on one of my online sites. Turns out the house is worth between $600,000 and $650,000. So I said, of course the bank would want a deed in lieu of foreclosure. They'd love to take your $300,000.
They want to scrape your equity. That's the oldest game in the book.
Absolutely. Now he has medical problems. He's got credit issues, all kinds of things. So what I said to him, I said, "Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take your house. We're going to list it. We're going to get this thing sold for you at this point, because there's no point in trying to redo this mortgage, because right now with his financial situation, he's going to have a tough time. And even if he does, it would not be a great situation." He said, "That's interesting, because my wife and I want to move out of the area in the next year or two." You're perfect. I said, we're gonna grab that money for you. We're gonna put it in the bank. You're gonna rent a house for a year or two. You can do whatever you want. At that point, you clean up. We'll get you a loan at that point. If you move out of the area, you'll be able to get a loan at that point. So there are all kinds of different ways that we can help people, and that's certainly one of them.
Well, you and I did that last year for that couple out of Sarasota, I believe it was, where they had moved over from the West Coast. My cousin had referred them to us. They were the nicest people in the world, although I'm not sure how high the elevator goes up in that building.
Yeah.
And and we got them global, and we couldn't do a loan for them, a traditional loan. But then suddenly we realized that if we did this other kind of loan with them, we would pay off their credit cards, and they would have like $300-400 a month extra cash. And in Sarasota, if you're a retired fixed income couple, that made a lot of difference to them. You saved their butts, Ed.
Yeah, for them, that's true, and that was a really, really good deal for them. And those are the things that make us the most proud. And I can tell you, like, even things like for anybody that's over 62 years old, we're doing a lot of reverse mortgages nowadays, which always had a bad rap, but the government's all over it, and it's not.
It's different now. It's more like a credit card than a dump of equity that you start paying on from day one with lots of fees. This is more like an equity-based card where your home is the collateral. Is that sort of what it is now?
That's exactly right. But I mean, they'll only lend at a certain percentage, 65% or whatever. So you always have your percentage of ownership equity in the property. But the best part of it is you lose your mortgage payment. You don't have a mortgage payment anymore. We take away the mortgage payment. You have a line of credit that you can use if you'd like. And for a retired couple, I mean, the only downside to something like this is your kids get some less money down the road. Sorry. That's the way it works. You're living off your own money.
Go work.
Yeah, but they will not take the house or any of those things. So those are really good options for a lot of people, and we got quite a few of those we're working on also to help people.
Well, you wanted to talk a little bit about foreign nationals, and we've dodged the topic for the last half hour.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk a little bit about foreign nationals? I know you've got some great lenders. I've got some great lenders. I've closed a bunch of foreign national loans. Here in Miami, it's one of the things that keeps our market hot.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them buy all cash. Can you do a cash out refi for a foreign national?
I can. It's the one thing about a foreign national, it's got to be an investment property. It's a foreign national. They obviously own there and they're buying here.
Well, they're going to own it in an LLC anyway. They got to go do all that know your customer stuff.
Mm-hmm. So we could do for instance, I have a couple from Canada. And all I need is money, which he has. He has a couple of bank statements with X amount of dollars in there. We're good there. I need 2 forms of ID, and basically, there's not much else that we need to go ahead and do this deal. We need a contract, and the deal is basically done. So, foreign national is relatively simple, and they'll lend at 70%, which is nice. So instead of using 100% of their money, they're only using 30% of their money.
Well, and they can take the rest of it and do what they want to do, like buy a Maserati or something.
Yeah, sure. If they want to.
All right. Well, it's either that or take the girlfriend to the spa. There's only a couple things that the foreign nationals are going to do with that money.
That's exactly it. And the retail banks, of course, are not touching those.
Well, they don't touch that stuff.
They don't touch that stuff. Yeah, that's what we do.
All right. Well, listen, stick with us for more quick, funny mortgage banter after this. I'm going to ask Ed. We're going to talk about one of the loans we did for perhaps the richest guy I know, and we couldn't get him financed. We had to finance his kid off of the guy's wife's income. We'll be back to talk about that one. And Ed, I'm making these funny. This is great stuff. Brothers are laughing. We're out of here. All right, Mr. Mendoza, take it away. Brothers, I can't wait to see you. I hope you're in the shot the next time, too. I got 3 smiles, 3 golden smiles there. It's amazing.
We miss you, Jim.
Love you, Jim.
We miss you, Jim.
I love you guys. All right, Rocket Mendoza. Peace out, guys. Love you. I'm writing down my notes again. You should work with us because we believe in you. And we can craft something special and specific just for you. I hope Ed's listening. Boy, was that great stuff. You know who else is special and will create something specific just for you. Warren Henry. Whoops. Warren Henry. Sorry, sir. I'll have to call you back. He must have heard he needs some mortgage. My friends at Warren Henry, thank you for reminding Mr. Mendoza. So I was talking with Larry the other day at Supercar Saturday, and I was telling him how I needed to get my car. And he said, well, Jim, tell me about what you're looking for. Tell me where you want, what you want to be, price-wise, number-wise, everything. I told him. He said, fine, we can work with that. I said, Larry, I am so proud to have now been for 10 years the brand ambassador for Warren Henry. It's so wonderful that they allow me to carry their standard and their brand, and I can't be prouder or more careful of anything that I have. I absolutely cherish this relationship. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because I know they cherish the relationship they have with me. That's what they mean when they say be a member of the Warren Henry family. When everything's great and easy, wow, it's easy to be a family member, but need something special, need something creative, need something that makes your day, need to be protected when you're out there in the auto shopping world. Larry and Eric and the rest of the guys at Warren Henry are just terrific. So, you know, I always say they're standard lines that I always say when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why I have to check out Warren Henry. Yes. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at 151st and Biscayne. Yes. I'm going to be going to Gainesville to look at an Audi this weekend, and maybe I'll end up going to the Keys and getting a Jeep. I'm not sure yet. But I can tell you one thing, no matter what it is, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry advantage. What is that? It's a long list of services. I read it. It's like a book. The main stuff is that you'll get a service loaner for free. They'll replace your keys if you lose them. Those are really expensive things. Those are computerized. That's what they're having the problems getting chips for, I believe. If you scrape up your car's rims, they'll polish them. They'll guarantee you're getting great price, the best price on your vehicle you're turning in. They'll guarantee you're getting a great price, the best price on the vehicle you're buying. They'll give you 3 days to make sure you love your car. You can turn it back to them. No one ever does that because they love those cars. It's true. I'm going to see some of my friends up in Gainesville over the weekend. I know they all have Warren Henrys. I'll go through the whole parking list, the whole lot. They'll have them. So remember, join me, my beautiful wife, Vivian, my mom. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. Lots and lots of my friends. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
That's another person who does customized stuff for me, Rebecca Carlson. She does one thing. She helps me look good. That's so important. I really appreciate her friendship and her kindness. You know, I surround myself with wonderful experts. You saw Ed, you know, Riggs Mendoza. You've got Rebecca. I surround myself with experts and then I listen to their opinion. Guess what? Maybe you should do that too. Give me a call if I can help. What is my role in the real estate world? I solve people's problems. I met yesterday, a friend of mine sent me a very high net worth individual. You could see his 90-foot yacht from my house. Okay. And we talked about expanding his franchise business. This may just be a consulting job. He asked me questions, very basic. He just needs to learn real estate terminology and standard practices. That's what this comes from. I can bring that to you. I have another gentleman. He's 25 years old. He's the scion of a rich family out of the Middle East. He and his family are buying, actually he is buying properties here and he's building his credit. He goes, Jim, who's the best bank for me to work with? Took him right to the right guys. And another friend, high net worth investor. The first bank is now out of the market because I took them their last loan that they need to do this year. So I took my friend to another lender that I've known for 35 years and we're going to do his loan. What's his loan? Ground floor retail refinance. I love that guy. I've got another client. The client wants to create an entire development division in his company. His company now develops retail. They want to develop office. He goes, Jim, bring me an office guy. I brought him an office guy. We're going to put that company together and I'll pick to participate. It's really exciting. And I'm doing it all with people that like each other, that get along, that are wonderful people, that will watch each other's backs. Are you looking for a circumstance like that? Do you need somebody to help guide you through the jungle that is the Florida real estate market? I'm actually going to write that down. That was tremendous. I never thought of it like that. Reach out to me. You see right down there how to do it. And whenever you reach out to me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Well, we're broadcasting from South Florida today. Mother Nature is making sure she's in the background. So if you hear some thunder, see some lightning, you'll know what's going on down here today. Let's bring on the thunder and lightning from upstate with Ed Cairo. Eddie.
Hey, Jim.
There he is. I miss my brothers. They're the best. I love those guys. Thanks for bringing them on. They're tremendous. And it really looks great when you're surrounded by the experts that you lean on. Yeah. We talk about that as a theme here on the show, that we lean on the experts and then we listen to what they say. A great example is I have a client from Latin America. He's a billionaire. His money's all in Latin America. He gets checks sent up here when he needs them. And he goes, Jim, I want to buy a home for my kids. I go, okay, great. Guess what? He wasn't financeable. Why, Ed?
Oh, because we couldn't verify a lot of the income that he was able to provide.
Right, because his income was on call.
Yep.
It wasn't contractual.
Correct.
So what we had to do is we had to find somebody in that family that got contractual income. I wonder who that might be. Maybe his wife that holds a divorce decree that he's paid on for 20 years.
Correct.
Now you're laughing. You're the one that came up with it, not me.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what we did. Yeah, because we knew the wife was going to definitely get this money, and she was very financeable. So what we did with his children, both of them, as a matter of fact, is we used his wife as what we call a non-occupant co-borrower, where it's like the old cosigner. So we were able to use this income stream that she's going to get for the rest of her life and utilize that for the two children who were able to buy some really, really beautiful homes. That was a great deal. That was really good for them.
Dude, I'm trying to remind you of the great things that you do for people.
That we like.
You solve problems for people. Let's talk about another one. Okay. Yeah. In this case, we had a gentleman that I knew. He had contractual income and worked at the same place for the long time. And this is at the beginning of the pandemic. So they were giving money away. He refinanced his house. We got that guy, I think it was a $299. $299 for sort of a semi-government official. And then we did another. This is one of my favorites also. One of the big swingers. We can't mention exactly who it is, but you read about him in the paper all the time doing all these office loans. Aren't you proud you financed that guy, Eddie?
Oh, yeah. That was another interesting.
Isn't that tremendous? And he didn't even want to pull a lot of cash out, but at the time it was a jumbo, and he was trying to do all these new things, and he had a new family. And Eddie, you helped him achieve his dream.
We did. We freed up a lot of money for him, and yeah, I think that he would, and he's in a very good position today because of that loan, which worked out really well.
Well, he's a young person. Yeah. He's got a young family. He's got a gorgeous home. with an interest rate that, I love your term, we're going to have to staple on his front door for him so he doesn't forget what a great job we did.
That's right. That's right. On the jumbo.
And, so those are just a couple of the things that we've done together. Tell me some of the stuff that you and the brothers that have done that have been real interesting that illustrate our point, Eddie.
Well, we have, as a matter of fact, we have one right now, which is really a heck of a loan. This one gentleman had some issues, let's say, in the past, and he's a very high net worth individual. So he had plenty of cash. His income that he showed wasn't enough to qualify for anything. And unfortunately for him, he went to 2 retail banks who obviously turned him down. He was trying to pull cash out of his house. His house was worth in the $6 million range. And then he went to 1 or 2 brokers who were really taking him down the street and hurting him. So when he went to the third, it was actually the second bank after the 2 brokers, they couldn't do it, but they recommended us. So he called, and this just happened 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we closed him. And he called and he said, so-and-so told me to come see. He says, I don't want to talk over the phone. I want to come down to your office. I want to come down to your building. We have our new building here in Lake Worth. So he came down to see us, and we were able to, once I sat with him and understood his situation, I was able to structure a loan. And it's very funny because one of my lenders said, oh, we have this program, that program, this program, that program. So when I called the lender, I said, well, remember all those programs you have? I have one guy that's going to fit every single one of them. We did an asset depletion because he had X amount of dollars in the bank. We did a bank statement loan because he had a company that was throwing off some big money. And he had an apartment in New York. And I said to him, is that rented? Yeah. I said, well, give me the rent. Let me work that out. He owned it outright, whatever. So we used the rental on that one. And he had just gotten a new job, so on and on and on. So we structured this wacky loan. And quite frankly, it went to 3 different banks, even with us. It was a very difficult loan to do. 4th bank closed them. Ended up with $1.1 million in the bank, ready to go. And now he's buying another piece of property he's going to move into. So I'm doing no income verification loan for this gentleman. No income verification on a primary residence. Very few lenders have that. Very few.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that fixed, floating? How long of a term? What?
30-year fixed loan. Yeah. It's
So they're not doing income verification. What are they doing?
Based on the cash flow of the property, what it's worth. The property
LTV. Well, he's got an LTV. Low LTV.
His LTV is going to be, believe it or not, it's going to be 75% actually, 75%. And what they're going to do is they're going to figure out what the market rent of this property is. And as long as his payment is less than the market rent, he's going to be approved. And I just gave him $1.1 million. So if we have to go to 65 or 60 or any of those numbers, we can do it because he has the money to do so. It's a beautiful.
And this is on a primary
residence. No income verification loan on a primary residence. As a matter of fact, I did one with you also. You probably don't remember this, but we did one, I'm going to say 6 months ago.
For the kiteboard guy?
No. Kiteboard guy was full doc on that one. No, this was a no income verification on one of your clients, actually. One of your people that you know.
Okay. Well, everybody just realized that I kind of released people to you.
Yeah.
And I don't. After I go, hi, I'm Jim. I really don't add that much value, other than that I know you.
Yeah. There's not. With this market changing the way it is, I mean, lenders are running scared. It's a little tough out there. But this particular program still exists. I mean, it could change, but for now it's still out there. But very, very, very few investors have this program. We do. So,
all right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. Mother Nature agrees. And we'll be right back for our last segment. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what Ed does on his off time. I want to do a little profile about Ed, humanize Ed. Ed's just not a mortgage machine. He's a person. We'll learn about who is Ed Cairo after this. Mr. Mendoza, I'm not asking about you. Wow, it's kind of wet out there, but it's dry in here. I'm getting ready to go to Gainesville. I'm getting ready to get my new car. Why? Because I'm a member of the Warren Henry family, and I know what to do. When the QX60 came out, my wife just had to have it. I called Larry's in. He made sure that I got the first one in the United States. I bet, man, she got that so early. The people in the insurance place didn't even have an insurance reference for it yet. My car, well, I'm going to go up to Gainesville this weekend, and I'm going to go look at the Audis. Larry's going to make sure that I get a personally crafted transaction that makes sense for me. It's going to be great. Why? Because I'm a member of the Warren Henry family. So if you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. It's why I've been their client and a member of their family for 30-something years at this point. Everybody in my family gets their cars from them. Lots and lots of my friends, my wife, everybody. Up at 151st and Biscayne, they sell Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Gainesville, where I'm going, that's the Audi store. Down in the Keys, they've got everything down there. So no matter what car you want, they've got you covered. And in any case, you'll always be a member of the Warren Henry family. What do you get? Well, you get this long list of services that comes with each car, including, of course, a complimentary service loaner. But in addition to that, they'll replace your keys if you lose them. Those computerized keys are worth a lot of money. If you scrape up your rims because you parked too close to the curb, that's me. They'll polish them up for you. Want to get a new car? Want to trade yours in? They'll make sure and guarantee you're getting the best value for your trade. They'll make sure and guarantee that you're getting the best price on your new car. And they will give you 72 hours to guarantee you like that new car. If you don't, you can trade it in. Got a secret for you. Nobody trades it in because they all love them. So join me, my beautiful wife, Vivian. I love her. She's my everything. My mom, lots and lots of my friends. I'll see some guys up at the UF conference this weekend. They'll have Warren Henry cars. I guarantee it. Always the best price. Always the best service. Always Warren Henry.
It's time to stop the hate and spread some love. You are beautiful, you're smart, you are awesome, and you never have to change for anybody. You have the voice and you have the power. We are so much stronger when we come together. It's your choice, so choose to be inspired. Choose to be accepting, be strong, be brave, be awesome, be daring, be kind. Choose kindness.
Boy, if that ain't the theme of our show, nothing is. So I'm Jim Freed, and I help people solve their real estate problems. That's what I do. I've got clients from all over the world that call on me. We put them in deals. We help them get out of deals. We put them together with each other. It's a wonderful thing to watch. They bring me their kids. I help their kids build their business. They bring me their new ideas. I help them build on their new ideas. I bring my friends together. I couldn't resist. I bring my friends together and we do deals, and it's wonderful. Join our transactional environment. Reach out to me. You're going to learn something when you do. And what that is I love this move. I'm going to do it. When you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Well, hi, welcome to the final segment of today's Freed on Business. We've been talking with Ed Cairo. Ed's my partner in the residential mortgage business. Hey, Ed, how you doing, bro?
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Great. We had Ed's brothers on. They're the ones that execute the plan. Ed finds the loan. They close the loan. It's a great team.
Yep.
Now's the time to use a broker because your bank, well, they'll say they can do the loan. They can't.
Yep.
They don't even want it, but they do want that fee they'll charge you for running your credit and everything.
That they'll do.
Ed gets referrals. We get referrals from banks. Why? Because people that care about you want to get your deal done. and that's us. We'll be creative. We've been talking about some of the horror stories we were able to solve during the show, but I think it's important that you learn who Ed Cairo really is. I've gotten the opportunity to know Ed now over these past few years. And first of all, I want to say, Ed, thank you so much for making me, I guess I'm a mortgage cousin.
That would be apropos.
Okay. Thank you for making me a mortgage cousin. But Ed, you and your family have a long history of serving people. Comes from your family's business in New York. You moved down here. How long have you guys been in the mortgage business?
We've been in the mortgage business 25 plus years. So we've been quite a while.
It's safe to say you've pretty much seen it all?
Yeah, I think that's safe to say, yes.
We were talking about doing loans for foreign nationals. Tell me a little bit about the sources you have for that.
We have some investors that absolutely love those type of loans because what they're doing is they're lending on the equity of the property and they're lending on the cash flow of the property. So we call it a business purpose loan. So basically, it's a business purpose loan. It has to do. It's very similar to when you buy a commercial property, right? They're going to look at the cash flow of the property. They want to make sure the principals can handle it, have experience, and have good credit and income and all that kind of stuff, and assets, obviously. But it's very similar to that. It's a business purpose loan, and for whatever reason, people come in and they want to buy a piece of property. They might want to just vacation down here or whatever the case may be. But really, it's really for a rental is what it's for.
So Ed, we've only got a couple of minutes left. People are in their homes. They're cringing as they read the newspaper about what's going on in interest rates. And I think that it's important to keep it in perspective.
Yes.
As the interest rates go up, people that are holding credit card debt, or I know you did this for a guy on his car too, car debt, those factors can be higher than the factor that would be used on their home. And should they use their home to cash out and pay off those bills, they've done something that most corporate treasurers are seeking to do all the time. They've lowered their overall cost of capital. Talk about that guy with the car. Give me that example again about the guy with the car.
Yeah, that particular one was interesting. And it's very funny because when we get into these types of deals, the first thing that people will say, I don't want to pay off the car with the equity of my property. I mean, that's obviously going to be the first. And when, from an outsider looking in, we all understand what he's saying about that. However, you still have the debt, you still have the payment. And it's really, for some people, it's really about cash flow, right? Cash flow, a debt is a debt. You owe the money one way or the other. Either you give it to the car guy or you give it to the bank, for the mortgage. But if your interest rate is high and your credit cards are 24% and all the rest of it, if there is some equity in the property, then if we can lower your overall debt, by 1,000 or 500 or 300, depending on the person, whatever it is that they might need, you have to really look at it as that, look, you owe this money. It has to get paid somehow. If things are a little on the tougher side, let's see if we can structure something that makes sense for you so you can lower your overall debt and you can breathe a little bit, because that's what's really going on today. I mean, somebody that's making 40 or 50 or 60,000 a year, whatever the number is, to absorb, food bills and gas prices that have doubled and so on and so forth, where does that come from? How do they absorb that? They don't. And what they're going to do is they're going to start incurring more debt. So our job is to keep their cash flow going, to make sure that they can, support the family and be able to put dinner on the table as they need it. And then down the road, as things change, then we restructure them down the road. I mean, at least we get them through a tougher patch for some people.
So Ed, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like what you are is really a financial advisor. And boy, would the guys at the NMLS love to hear me say that, wouldn't they? All those dirtbags that slam people into all those loans that are no longer here, that cratered our economy. Instead, what you are is actually a guardian for the people of America. You make sure that no bad loans get through, that people that need a good loan can get it.
Yeah.
And, you help them evaluate their situation. I've been on many a call where you advise people to not do something because it doesn't make financial sense to them.
All the time.
Thank you so much, Ed. Thank you so much for the opportunity to do loans with you, to work with the Mortgage Brothers. one more reason, one more time, why is it important for people to use a residential mortgage broker at this point in the cycle?
A couple of reasons. First reason would be, when you call a retail bank, 1-800-WAIT, you'll never get through to these guys. 1-800-WAIT is a good little term for that. We answer the phone 7 days a week. We're here to help people. When I get involved or we get involved in any sort of a transaction, I want to know all of it, and we'll sit down and we'll spend the time. If it's a couple hours, what happens, most people don't even understand their own personal finance. There's no reason that they would, all they know is they have a job, they have bills, they pay, they got the kids, but they never really looked at the credit report in relation to the property value, so on and so forth. There's a lot of factors that if we do a couple of tweaks for them, it helps. And that's really what we're here to do. I want to point it out to them. They don't have to do anything, and I'm not suggesting they do anything, but I would say to them, listen, I'm going to point out this. If you did this, this would possibly help you, or this. Talk to your wife, see what they think, so on and so, give them an opportunity to look outside the box, because everybody's kind of in a box right now. Everybody's afraid. Okay, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people are afraid. So look outside the box a little bit. Let me show you some ways to structure, some creative ways of financing your situation to get you from point A to point B. Point A may be today, point B might be 2 years from now, whatever it might be. We can always help.
Ed, thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping me. Thank you for being out there, helping me implement my brand, which is that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams and goals. I want to thank you and the brothers so much. I want to thank the folks at Warren Henry for sponsoring the show. I want to thank Riggs Mendoza for putting it together. I'm going up to Gainesville, so I'm going to thank the Bergstrom Center for Real Estate Studies for sponsoring too. They're all sponsors. They're all great people. They all pull in the same direction. It's wonderful to be a part of everything. Next week, we're going to have a great show. We're going to have a guest return. We're going to talk a little bit about more about mindfulness and positive energy in the workplace. So stick with us for that. Watch my tweet stream and everything else for updates on what I'm learning up at the UF conference. And remember, the person that wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. The rest of the show belongs to Mr. Mendoza. I'm out.